why though. I'll tell you why. Because there's freedom without responsibility. Like, I believe in consequences for your decision. So the men know if they vote someone batshit crazy into power, you guys get drafted. We don't.
So remember, but why didn't women have the right to vote? Women, so historically men had to go to war and fight. That is why women couldn't vote, was because if you had the choice today in 2022 and we were in war and you had to go fight on the front lines, would you pick it? Personally, and this is where people will take me out of context and say I don't think women should vote. Personally, if I in 2022 had the choice where I had to go fight in the front lines just like the men in a war, or I could give up my right to vote, I would give up my right to vote. And that's what happened back then, is they equated voting with going to war.
All right, if we're gonna vote, then I think we should be equally drafted into selective service. So men, if they don't sign up for selective service, which basically means in a time of war, you have to be like drafted essentially. It's like the new version of the draft. You have to sign up for that when you're 18. And if you don't do it, you're fined $300,000. I don't think that's fair. If women want the voting responsibility, it should come with the responsibilities that are supposed to come with it. To voting, okay, I was curious as to why women didn't want to vote, because I heard that back then like women were against voting. And what I read, like the text of like the anti-suffragists back then, and they were saying they're trying to destroy the family. And I think that was the beginning of when they tried to destroy the family, was with the vote, because you trusted your husband to vote. And they were trying to divide the household because you should be on the same page about that stuff.
Right.
And so what I realized is like that was the beginning of them trying to destroy the family. And the feminists kind of brainwashed us to think like that women were oppressed. When they weren't oppressed, they just trusted the men to vote, like, because it's not like they were forced to be married to them. And if we went back in 2022 and they said, you have to get drafted or you have to give up your right to vote, I would give up voting. I don't want to be on the front lines, because that was the other piece. It's like you're voting for the commander-in-chief, but you have no skin in the game.